Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello. Happy New Year.
Woo, 2026.
Woo-woo. Here's to me writing 2025 on everything for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Yeah.
I will inevitably do that.
Oh, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen for a long time, at least until
Oh, yeah.
June, probably.
Absolutely. And then it'll click. Oh, we're in a different year. Great. I love that for
Yeah.
us.
And then the year will switch again and we'll have to get
And then
used to
it'll
it. Yeah.
switch. Yep. That's lovely. Well, happy Monday, everyone. Thank you for joining us live. If you're watching the replay, feel free to comment. Let us know your thoughts from today's talk that we were going to spend some time talking about vision that creates impact and what vision is and why it's important. Why you need to have vision for yourself, for your life, for your business, and how that helps impact your leadership holistically, which gives you a better quality of everything. So, vision is really, really important. Um, and so, yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and get started. Um, the first thing that I just want to clarify is what vision really is, and get get a little bit more familiar with the components of vision and what that can do for you, so that you understand the value behind it. Because it's not about having some snappy sentence that you can say, "My vision is this." It's not about that. It's about making a decision and getting very, very clear about the direction you are heading, and how you're going to build it comes from having that vision. So, vision is the why and the where, but how is the strategy? And a lot of times people focus on the how and they get ahead of themselves, but they don't actually know where they're going. So, they're building the plane while they fly it, but then have nowhere to go. And so I think it's really important to understand what vision is and how it can work for you, because it's not just a vibe. It's not just about coming up with something witty or catchy to say about your company or about your life. It's about giving yourself boundaries and permission so that you can both simplify and protect your time. And then from there, you can create the life and design the life that you're looking for. And when we have a vision for our personal lives and a vision for our professional lives, we're able to have a direction to focus on so that we have purpose in our lives on a day to day basis. So, Chloe, talk to me a little bit about why. I mean, the why is, the vision for the why
Mhm.
plus the where is really important, but like why vision, especially if you're a
Why
small
do you need
business owner?
vision? Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Why?
I mean, I think everybody needs vision. I mean, everyone's seen a vision board workshop. Which we're doing one, stay tuned. Um, But everybody likes to have vision and have something to look forward to. But it's more than I think most people usually think it is. Like you said, it's not just a vibe. It's so much more. So why do you need that? Well, because you need confidence, first of all, and the path that you're going
Yes.
on is authentic to you. So when you have
Mhm.
that vision, you know that this is in alignment with yourself and your goals for either you or your business, because you
Mhm.
make it based on your experience and what you want. So you have the confidence to say, this is my path, and kind of release everything else. That's why I love the change of the new year. It universally gives everybody permission to release whatever they don't want from the previous year. And
Right.
they can say, I'm confidently moving forward with this vision and I'm
Mhm.
letting go of this.
Right.
And which is
And I
so
think,
important.
yeah, and I think it's important to, like, if you're having a hard time following the conversation, skip vision and just replace it for clarity. If
Yeah.
you have clarity, if you have a direction, like if vision is too like high level for you and you're not aligning with it, like you get clarity by having purpose, by having
Yeah.
direction. And that's what that vision is. And
Yeah.
that's where you build that confidence.
And then also, you are the thermostat for your business, not the thermometer. So,
Mhm.
with that being said, that means when you have a vision, you're not reacting all the time to emergencies or trends or
Right.
anything else that comes up throughout the year where you start panic marketing or panic making decisions. Knowing you have your vision allows you to be like, that's not in alignment with me right now. This was my vision from the beginning of the year. This is what I wanted. I'm going to stick to it.
Right.
And it just gives you something to come back to and realign
Hmm.
yourself, and a checkpoint. So, and
Yeah.
I would also say motivation. So at the end of it all, you have your confidence, you have your thermostat, you have your check-ins. You're like, I'm coming back to this,
Right.
but it gives you the motivation to go towards the end of the year, knowing that that's your end goal. You created that, you wanted that, and you will
Hmm.
get there if you just stay the course.
Absolutely. I love vision too, because from the perspective of just being a human, having a
Mhm.
vision changes how I do things. I have
Yeah.
a vision for my life as a mom. And I don't run my house as a mom that is, I'm a single parent and I have three small kids. And I don't run my house and my day-to-day life as if things are happening to me because I have a vision for my life. I have a direction that I want to see my family
Mhm.
move into. So, what that does is it gives me back clarity, confidence, and control to say there are no surprises. I'm prepared for the surprises. There are no overstepping of time boundaries because I have guardrails to protect me from those time boundary problems. And when we start thinking about the vision being the place where the direction of which you're heading, the thing that I think is really important is that as your motivation goes up and down for your business, for your personal life, or whatever, your
Mhm.
vision stays steady. So you may not be motivated to get up and work on your vision for your
Right.
business or for your personal life or whatever. But motivation is not why we do things. You're never always going to be motivated. We do things because they are the next right thing, which means you need a vision to clarify what that next step is, right? It all builds on top of each
Yeah.
other. It's very important. Um, I also like the idea, something that Tina started doing. I don't know how long she's been doing this, but with my business school class way back in like 21, we started doing the one word thing. And I love this. It's where you take one word and you write on a card and we decorate it. And we would show it to our classmates and talk about the one word for the year. What are we, going to use as the thing that helps keep us on track for the year? Do you have a word for your year this year?
I do have a word.
What
My
is it?
word is restore. I
Awesome.
got that inspiration from my Aura ring, and it tells you where your restoration and stress levels are. And I just
Mhm.
realized, even going into the last month of the year, which is supposed to be the happiest, it's the holidays, everybody's on break, it's supposed to be calm. My stress levels were far too high. And I
Mm,
was like, I want to spend more time in that restoration zone and learn how to restore my body, my health, but also
mhm,
my creativity and passions. I feel like I let 2025 happen to me. So
mhm.
2026 is about restoring me and my goals, um,
Yeah,
and my stress.
I love that. Yeah. That's such good self-awareness too. Like, I wonder how many people, whether watching or, in our general, audience, how many people let their life happen to them?
Mhm.
There's a book called Designing Your Life, and I think that's what it's called, Designing Your Life. And it was really eye-opening for me to realize that I could have control over how my life unfolds, that I don't just have to accept things as they
Mhm.
come to me. I can take control and say, oh, that no longer serves me, or that relationship doesn't serve me anymore. And finding that insight for rest of the like to know that you need to take time to restore is such great self-care. And we talk about self-care a lot with the CEO woman because it's
Mhm.
so easy to skip that part of your day to day. But the reality is without having your self-care, and taking time to recover, restore, rest, whatever it is that you reset that you need to do, all you're doing is pouring from an empty cup. And as you deplete yourself, you're just running yourself right into a burnout. But
Mhm.
if you are constantly taking time to fill your own cup, and pour into yourself and you create that vision, you get that word aligned and you have a direction that you're going to go, you'll be pouring from the overflow. And when
Right.
we pour from the overflow, that is a very different conversation. That's
Mhm.
women lifting up women. That's people helping people, not one person losing something for another person to gain.
Right.
And I think that having one word is a bridge between all of that. Like it helps bridge, being inspired by something, but then you need to implement your life, and that helps keep you on track. So having the word restore, I think, is beautiful, especially knowing how hard you work.
Thank you. And yeah, and I think it also just gives me something to come back to at the end of the year. Coming back to like a whole vision board and looking at all the goals can, I think, sometimes be overwhelming. So knowing
Mhm.
that, like, when I set my next quarter's goals, coming back to that word restore, making sure that it's in alignment. That's
Right.
why I think it's most helpful to choose that one word. You can still have the other goals and things, but just making sure
Mhm.
you're coming back to that as your overall path.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. As like in marketing, we always teach you that all roads need to lead back to your main call to action, right? So like your
Mhm.
website or whatever. In this conversation, all roads lead back to your vision. They
Right.
lead back to that one word. What's the thing that you were focused on that no matter what, no matter how many times you get knocked off path, you're going to go for it no matter
Right.
what, right? You're going to go forward. Some quick examples, I think, is always helpful too. We've got a handful. I know used the word flow in 2023, and that was ironic because that's when my life imploded the heaviest. So I felt like that was a really well picked word to stay in the flow. Um, and then this year, my word, I'm going back and forth between steady and consistency.
Mhm.
I really want to focus on routine. That's like the big
Yeah.
thing, because I want to get my routines steady and consistent. I want to make sure that I have me prioritized this year so that I can be the leader of my home and the leader of my team and the leader at work and all those different relationships. And so for me, I'm still going back and forth that steady focus consistency area, but that's the thing that I'm focused on is that routine. But some other examples could be like refine.
Mhm.
Maybe it's bold, maybe it's steady, maybe it's expand, focus. Um, some people I've heard people use words like ready, um, they like to be alert and to be ready for whatever comes your way. People use rest, restore.
Mhm.
It's really about going, what happened last year, and then what do I need this year?
Yeah.
And it should change over time. It shouldn't be something that every year is the same because you go through different seasons
Mhm.
and you're supposed to change. You're
Absolutely.
supposed to
Yeah.
change. Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay to change.
It is. Now, vision boards are really interesting because it's a visual representation for
Mhm.
you of what your goals are. So talk to us a little bit about vision boards. I think that your
Yeah.
generation does that really well.
I love making a vision board. I haven't made like
Uh-huh.
my printout one for the year yet, but
Mhm.
I do have a Pinterest vision board. So,
Nice.
and I think that's you can make it however works for you creatively, whatever's easiest for me. Honestly, this year, just scrolling on Pinterest and being like, that's kind of the lifestyle I align with. These are some
Mhm.
moments, even if it's inspiration for an activity I want to do or somewhere I want to travel. I put it in my little Pinterest board and I'll revisit it throughout the year and kind of see what I've
Mhm.
done. Sometimes I'll make it in Canva too. And I actually do this quarterly now in Canva because I do it based on the season, but
Mhm.
it's something that's fun. I'll include pictures of the last year, of moments that I had, so that way I know that it's me in my vision board. That's what I always like to have too, is pictures of me in my vision board and my family, me doing things, because I
Mhm.
think that brings it back to like I am still in this. I'm not just trying to completely rebrand and make a life that isn't currently reflective of who I am. So I'll take moments of who I am and include it in there, knowing that I am still okay with like me and where I am now, but I'm still also trying to grow towards something else. Um,
Right.
so yeah, you can display it however creatively works for you. I think a printout is always good because it's fun, and then you can
Mhm.
see it. If you make it in Canva, I personally recommend putting it as your laptop background, because then
Oh,
it's there
that's
every time you
fun.
open it. Yeah, it's there every time you open your computer. So when you start the day, with work, you see it and you can just make sure
Hmm.
you're in alignment and you're like, oh, that's what I'm working towards. That's why I'm opening my computer at 8 o'clock in the morning. And um,
Hmm.
I think that's always fun. Um, but it helps your brain also notice opportunities. And you can, through looking through inspiration, how you do it, flipping through magazines, Pinterest, Google, it helps you notice, like, as you choose your path, what opportunities and journeys are along that path, which I think is fun.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't know, I just think a vision board is so exciting because you get to
Yeah.
visually see where you're going. We
Right.
talk, yeah, we talk a lot about making a vision and creating a vision, and that's great. But I think it's also so important to visually see what you're trying
Mhm.
to create and have
Right.
that image in your head. So that way, when you're stressed or you're in those moments where you're panicking or something's happened or life has happened to you, you have that
Hmm.
visual that, like, okay, this is what I'm coming back to, and this is what I'm
Right.
working towards.
Right.
But
It's
it's
such a
not magic.
big, it's not magic. That's right.
It's not magic.
You don't make a Pinterest board and then bam, that car shows up, your
Right.
waist size shows
Exactly.
up, the clothes show up in your closet, whatever it is that you're
Right.
trying.
And I think
Yeah.
that where I think I talked a little bit about motivation earlier, that yes, your vision board can give you motivation, but sometimes
Mhm.
that motivation fails you too. So that's where
Right.
consistency comes in. Even when those moments are feeling low, you have to be consistent with your vision,
Hmm.
because that's where you'll make the most progress. You're not always going to feel motivated to go on that walk or to
Right.
make that business decision or write that contract or
Hmm.
whatever it may be. It's not always going to come
Right.
with like this feeling of excitement, like, oh, I'm so excited to do this. Because
Hmm.
sometimes you're just not, sometimes you're not feeling it. So you have to be consistent with your vision in those moments.
Right. I love the idea of having something well defined. Um, Vague ideas are really easy, and everyone can have a vague idea.
Hmm.
But to get very clear about taking the idea and making it, turning it into something that's actionable, it goes from, it changes your mindset. You go from saying, I want more to saying, I want this specific thing, and you
Right.
get very clear and you drill down into where you're trying to go. And that's a power move right there, to have that type of clarity. Because when you have that type of clarity, you can make long term strategic decisions that move you forward in every area of your life. And so I think it's important to like make sure your vision board has both outcomes and identity. So you're not just focused on vanity, but you're also focused on things that actually matter to you. Like, what is it that you see your life looking like financially in a year from now? Go
Hmm.
show that in a vision board. What does it look like for you? Are you buying yourself a new vehicle? Are you increasing your salary? Are you saving money to, go on a vacation or something? Like, what is it that that looks like for you to help that 8 a.m. wake up and
Right.
going, I do this because there's a purpose, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Now, a couple of like clarifying questions that you can be asking yourself if you're going through this process of creating a vision for your life, for your business, is um, if this year goes right, what is going to be different by the time you get to December of 2026?
Hmm.
So if it goes right and all of your things line, what does that look like? Give yourself like, so that you know when you have achieved success this year, give yourself an endpoint. What does it look like? What
Right.
does it look like for you? And then what are you building? Is it a job or a company? Are you making yourself a fancy job? A lot of people do that. Is that what you want to do? Because some people do, and that's great.
Hmm.
Like, they just didn't want their 9 to 5, they wanted flexibility, and they really are creating a really great job for themselves. But if you're trying to build a company, that takes a very different skill set. Building a company is a different muscle that needs to be flexed. So, what are we building right now? What do you want your business to fund in your life? Is it like a Disney cruise with your family? That's what I want to do. Um, is it like maybe it's getting a down payment on a home, or renovating something in your house, or getting a new vehicle? Maybe it's funding your kids going to private school instead of public school, or dance lessons, or um, I don't know, maybe you're funding your kids going through college. It depends, wherever you are in your life, what do you want your business to fund in your life? And be very clear about that so that you don't accidentally spend money on things that are not important. Shiny object syndrome. Just, oh, I like that CRM. I want to try that. That's a waste of your money. Save it for your profit. You don't need a new one. Or maybe you do. Call me. Let me look at it with you. We'll figure it out. What are you unavailable for anymore is probably my favorite.
It's my favorite too.
So for me, just gonna say this so sweetly. I am no longer available for people or things that make me feel disrespected. Period.
Yeah.
What are you no longer or what are you unavailable for moving forward?
I think this year I'm making myself unavailable for things that just aren't in alignment with who I want to be. I know that's kind
Mm,
of more broad, but I think I also have a good pulse check on what I know is in alignment with me and what's not.
right.
So I'm just giving myself permission to just not be available for it anymore and say respectfully, this is not for me.
Yeah, it doesn't align.
Yeah, I don't have to say yes to everything. That's
Oh, amen.
it's a really bad habit of mine, but some things just I
Mhm.
can say no, and that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, this question I love as a business owner. What type of clients do you want more of, and what type are you graduating from?
That's a good one.
Man, that shift is so real. When you get out of your proof of concept phase in your business and then shift into that growth scaling side, that is a shift. That is a very real shift. And your client may change because like you
Mhm.
start off as more accessible financially, got your proof of concept, now you're at capacity and your prices go up. So maybe that is the demographic doesn't serve you anymore. So now who's your new ideal customer avatar and how are we going to attract those to your business? But more importantly, like who do you want to work with? Like what
Right.
type of clients? You don't have to say yes to everyone. And if you don't have a plan, you will. And when you say yes to everyone, you'll just burn out. So
Yeah.
making sure that you have a plan, you have a vision for your life, for your business, so that you don't say yes to things that do not align with who you are as a business owner.
I also like the way
And
you said that graduating from
yeah.
because it
Hmm.
puts a positive spin on it. You are moving up in your business. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing to say that this client base, no matter where they are, who they are, just doesn't serve you anymore.
Right.
It's an exciting thing to grow, and I think
Right.
graduating gives you that sense of accomplishment. You are moving up and you're growing.
Hmm. Right. Absolutely. And then what's the one thing that would make everything else easier? This is such a great question to ask. Um,
Mhm.
I think that sometimes we overcomplicate things in an attempt to gain control, and we need to step up and out a little bit to
Mhm.
review what decisions we make year over year, and then figure out what is it that you need as the owner of your business to make everything else easier. Maybe you need an assistant. Maybe your need is a piece of technology. Maybe you need AI of some sort. Maybe you need a babysitter. Maybe you need your partner to plan a date. I don't know. What will make your life easier? And then go write that down so you know, so that you can focus on it and make it a priority. Now, vision is how you stop surviving your business, right? Because it gives you a direction to go into. And it's how you build your business that supports you instead of the constantly like making you like the way your business works around you and for you changes when you lead it versus managing it. And leaders of their businesses have a vision because they know that there's got to be a high level direction to move into, and that it's not about creating more ideas or giving you more programs to implement or whatever. That stuff is panicky and it does not move your business forward.
Mhm.
When you have a vision and you know where you're going, you hold steady on that vision because just like the stock market, up and down, you do not need more ideas. You need to refine the ideas you already have. You need to get very, very, very operationally sound. You need to make sure that what you're doing is the right thing and aligns with your business so that you don't do more than you need to and you don't do the wrong things when you need to be doing other things.
Mhm.
And so, talk to me a little bit before we hop off vision board. We have a vision board workshop coming up. Talk to me about that a little bit.
Yes, we do have a vision board workshop coming up, which is very exciting. I'm just going to share my screen real quick so that way you can see all the details as I talk about them. But sometimes that vision doesn't come naturally or easily, and that's okay. That's not a character flaw at all. It is sometimes almost more inspiring to do it with a group of people because it fuels you. You're like, oh, wait, I can start to get some ideas. I like what she's doing there. I'm going to take it and align that with me. And it's just great to put your goals out there as well because you never know who's
Mhm.
in your corner and who can help you. It's so important that you know your network because they can be like, oh, well, I'll help you reach that goal. So this is that opportunity. So you can sit down and go over your vision with people live and put it together. And it's at Trivinia in Leesburg, which I
Mhm.
personally love. How exciting on January 20th. It is in the
Yes.
evening, so you can come after work. And it's hosted by Dr. Lola, which I believe she
Mhm.
also did our workshop at the summit if I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken. And everybody
Yes.
loved that workshop. It was so fun to see
Mhm.
everybody walk out of the summit with a little vision board for how they wanted to wrap up the year. And I heard
Mhm.
great reviews. So we're actually doing one to start the year. So
I
I'm
love
very
that.
excited for it. Space is limited. There are 20 seats available. So be sure
Mhm.
to register. We're going to be putting this link in the comments, and we're also going to be making some social media posts about it as well. So be sure to
Mhm.
RSVP. You don't want to lose your opportunity.
Yes. I love that. You're definitely going to want to sign up, especially
Hmm.
if your goal this year is to build a stronger community. You want to sign up for this
Oh,
because
for
this is where people get vulnerable and where they show up for themselves in very real ways. And that's a great opportunity for you to step in to that space with another person and find some people to be in your corner as you traverse the world that is entrepreneurship
hmm
because it is vast and deep and wide.
Yeah. And voicing your goals is so important because we want to cheer you on too. When you reach your goals, we want to
Hmm.
be there to give you an applause and a party. And that's just,
Hmm.
that's what rewards you and keeps you going forward to reach the next goal.
Right, absolutely. Gosh, this has been so motivating. I'm so excited.
I
Thank you,
know. I
Chloe,
love
for
it.
hopping on with me this morning to talk
Absolutely.
about vision. I'd love to know what your vision is for your business this year. So if you're watching with us or watching the replay, drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear. If you're in our sisterhood too, please feel free to drop your vision in our sisterhood private Facebook group. I just want to see what everybody's working on. Where's the
Mhm.
focus at this year for the ladies in our community? And if you're not sure, then sign up. Registration is $35 and it gives you wine and appetizers and the supplies you need. Um, and oh, it
You
looks
also
like you
get a
get a gift card to
$25
the
gift
Global
card.
Local for
Mhm.
$25. We love Tara Flynn. If you don't know Tara Flynn, she owns the Global Local in Leesburg. Super cute, artisan curated stuff, like just the
Right.
most creative, beautiful handmade things from all over the world. Um, so that's delightful. Actually, this mug, this is from the Global Local.
Fun.
um, yeah, so I hope you're able to join us for that. The link is in the chat, I mean, in the comments on Facebook. And we'll see you on Wednesday for some Wednesday business
Wisdom.
wisdom. Wednesday wisdom. What do we call? I keep forgetting
Business
what we call
Wednesday,
it.
yeah, it's one of
We'll
those.
see you
That's
Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. for a little chat. So come hang out with us. Thanks for joining us. Happy New Year. Thanks, Chloe, for hanging out with me this morning.
absolutely. Bye.
Bye.